Hello, everybody, and welcome. You have tuned in to Read with Me. I'm Amanda C., and our next few weeks are going to be covering a book that is absolutely near and dear to my heart. It has been an incredible tool of day-to-day life, as well as self-realization, ascension, relearning in many different ways. And the book is by Ayanla Van Zandt, and the title is One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. And this book is 40 Days and 40 Nights Towards Spiritual Strength and Personal Growth. And now is a time as ever to get in tune with that. These past couple years have been a little uncertain, have been a little weary, have been a little wearing on the body, and your whole vessel, just mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And if you feel it, I really welcome you, and I really thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to lay out these chapters. We're going to talk about them. Well, I'm going to tell you my answer. You're more than welcome to join in on the comment section and leave me your answers. I just really want this to be a close community of encouragement and love. And I give to you, you give to me. More so like that saying, I water you, you water me, we grow. Because that is what this is about. It's time to just be communal. It's time to just support and uplift people. Because believe it or not, whether you know someone or not, your smile, your words, they make a huge difference to someone else who needs it. So we're going to go ahead and dive in to One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. And let's begin. This book is dedicated to ego, that part of us that continues to worry, live in doubt, is afraid, judges other people, is afraid to trust, needs proof, believes only when it is convenient, fails to follow up, refuses to practice what it preaches, needs to be rescued, wants to be a victim, beats up on self, needs to be right all of the time, and continues to hold on to what does not work. You are now put on notice that your days are numbered. First words. One day my soul just opened up and things started happening. Things I can't quite explain. I mean, I cried and cried like never before. I cried tears of 10,000 mothers. I couldn't even feel anything because I cried till I was numb. One day my soul just opened up. I felt this overwhelming pride. What I was proud of, only God knows. Like the pride of 100,000 fathers basking in the glory of their newborn sons. I was grinning from ear to ear. One day, my soul just opened up. I started laughing, and I laughed for what seemed like forever. Wasn't nothing particularly funny going on, but I laughed anyhow. I laughed the joy of 1,000,000 children playing in the mud. I laughed till my sides ached. Oh God, it felt so good. One day, my soul just opened up. There were revelations, annihilations, and resolutions. Feelings of doubt and betrayal, vengeance and forgiveness. Memories of things I'd seen and done before, of places I'd been, although I didn't know when. There were lives I'd lived, people I'd loved, battles I'd fought, victories I'd won, and wars I'd lost. One day, my soul just opened up and outpoured all the things I'd been hiding and denying and living through that had just happened moments before. One day, my soul just opened up and I decided I was good and ready. I was good and ready to surrender my life to God. So, with my soul wide open, I sat down, wrote her a note, and told her so. Those are words by Jemia Van Zandt. So now we are reaching the introduction portion of the book, and the introduction is called Removing the Veil. So if you guys could please just place yourselves there, and I'll give you a moment. Get your tea, get your water, whatever it is that you need. I'll give you a minute, and then we will go ahead and continue. Let's begin. At one point in my life, I really thought I had it all figured out. I was working in my dream career field. I had a decent home. I was in a solid relationship. My children were being normal teenagers. Then one morning, I woke up miserable. Nothing in particular had happened. Well, actually it had. Sometime during the night, when I was asleep, I decided to tell myself the truth. I hated my job. I was lonely, living in a new city where I knew no one. I was dating a married man, and I felt like I had been a horrible mother, totally incapable of ever making up to my children for the years of insanity I had inflicted upon them. People looking from the outside in thought that I had really made it. Who was I to doubt them? I convinced myself through my daily motions that they were right. The feelings of misery, confusion, and despair began to grow like an annoying fungus in my mind. My thinking was fuzzy. I was snapping at people. I had become professionally aggressive and competitive to the point of being combative. Each day, I would push myself to exhaustion so that no more truth would be revealed to me when I was sleeping. I clung to the relationship, believing that if it ended, I would surely lose my mind. It did, and I did. I lost the mind that had kept me in denial for the better part of my life. I lost the mind that was so full of distortions, half-truths, and the ideas of others that it fed my misery like a ravenous dog. I lost the mind that was angry at my mother, hated my father, resented my brother, wanted to control everything and everybody in its midst that could in any way hurt me. At that time, I didn't realize what was going on. I thought I was having a string of bad luck. As I watched my life fall into pieces, I did what any mindless person would do. I got totally pissed off. It is called temporary insanity. There is something strange that happens when you go insane. People help you stay there. There are those who recognize your anger and support you in it. You have told them your story. They know why you are mad. What do? They get mad right along with you. They help you rant and rave. They even go so far as to offer you a drink in the process. Then there are those who recognize your confusion. You've told them your story too. As a matter of fact, You have probably called them every day with twisting, turning updates that keep you in a state of rage and confusion. What do? They offer you suggestions. They tell you what to do and what to say. At the time, it all sounds good. However, when the time comes for you to do or say what they have told you, confusion reigns supreme. Insanity surfaces, and you retreat into being pissed off. Although I did not realize it at the time, I was lucky. There was one person in my life who immediately recognized my confusion, anger, and insanity. This very astute individual went so far as to detect an even greater vulnerability in me. Fear. The fear that I was losing control. Fear that other people would judge me. The fear that, for some reason, I was not willing to explore or mention. I was being punished. More important, this person recognized that beneath it all, there was a need for me to grow, a need for me to change. They knew that I had entered a sort of spiritual twilight zone where nothing made sense, but everything was making perfect sense. I was on a journey to a place that would require boldness of heart, strength of mind, and power of spirit. This person listened to the story, offering only one seemingly useless suggestion. Remain open. There is something bigger than you know going on here. Well, la-di-da. What the heck was that supposed to mean? I made it through that experience. Things got better, and then they fell apart. I changed careers. I changed partners. I cut my hair and lost 32 pounds. Things got better, and then they fell apart again. In the process, something wonderful happened. I picked up certain abilities, habits, and practices that led me to the realization that things never really fell apart. They simply changed. Somehow, even when I felt as if I was about to lose my mind again, I could hold on to the notion that everything is always as it should be. If I was to be insane, I would just be insane. Perhaps I was sleeping when I came into the one realization that continues to sustain me. If you know who walks beside you, you can never be afraid. I wish I knew the exact moment in time when it happened, because I would have had a party. I now believe it was in that instant that my soul opened up and the spirit of the divine entered my life. I have met hundreds of thousands of people I recognize from my own experiences to be utterly insane. It is not the kind of insanity that will get you tossed into the loony bin. It is the kind of insanity that keeps you in a struggle for control of your life and everyone in it. The kind of insanity we are talking about here is a kind that keeps you pushing yourself, striving to do more, be better, and get ahead. Unfortunately, because you are insane, when you get ahead, when you are better, and when you get more, it is still not enough. The insanity that plagues more than half of the adult population of most countries is a kind that makes fully capable, able-bodied people stay on jobs in which they are miserable. These insane people stay in relationships where they cheat or are cheated on. They remain in situations of all kinds where they are abused, neglected, demeaned, overlooked, and in many ways I cannot enumerate, otherwise dehumanized. The insanity I am identifying here is the kind that makes you forget who walks beside you and who lives within you, and that as a result of this loss of memory shuts down your soul. Let's take a sip of tea to that one. If you or anyone you know shows signs of these symptoms, beware. This person could be walking around convinced that he or she is fine. Most insane people do that, you know. Be aware that beneath the everything is fine exterior, there may be a malignant fungus of fear, confusion, and misery eating away at the soul. As the soul is eaten away, each day becomes a task of drudgery. The people in the environment become crutches and victims of perceived oppressors. If you or anyone you know is in the midst of something or everything falling apart, take heed. This could be the first sign of an insanity waiting for the opportunity to take over, cloud the mind, and destroy the spirit. If that happens, some part of you or someone you know is about to shut down. It must shut down in order for you to survive. If, on the other hand, you recognize these symptoms in yourself or someone you know, here's a piece of advice. Remain open. There is something bigger than you know going on here. In writing this book, it is my hope to offer support and guidance to those who are temporarily insane. I've been there, and I know it is really only temporary. Life may sometimes seem to burden us with more than we can or want to bear. It's not that we cannot handle it. It is usually that we do not know how to handle it. Play that back. It's not that we cannot handle it. It is usually that we do not know how to handle it. Those who are wise enough or courageous enough to pick up this book before insanity sets in will be equipped to meet the tasks that lie ahead. Those who never want to be insane again may also benefit from this therapeutic approach. No matter which category you fall in, I want to share with you the things I found to be most effective in helping me to remain open and grounded in the knowledge of who I really am when life experiences threaten to make me forget. 40 days and 40 nights spent honoring the things that really matter in life is the only first step toward personal growth and spiritual strength. If you are anything like me when I was insane, it could take you 6 months to complete the 40-day process. That's okay. You will do as much as you need to do when you need it. If too much light, too much truth comes in at once, you can become spiritually blind. The good news is that when you need this book, you will have it. Gaining a working knowledge of 40 spiritual principles will give you a totally new perception of yourself and life. Don't be like me when I was insane. Don't try to figure it out. New thoughts, new feelings may not show up instantly. The moment you realize the old ways of thinking and feeling do not work for you, the process of this book will be something new for you to try. 40 days and nights may not seem like a lot. This is probably because most insane people think the more complicated a thing is, the better a thing is. This is simply not true. 40 is a mystical number. It has the power to cure insanity. If you are willing to admit that you are or have been insane as described here and would like some help, I welcome you. If you are willing to say that it has never happened to you, but you know people you would like to help by gaining a grasp of the information presented here, I welcome you. If you have received this book as a gift and cannot figure out why, take a hint. You are welcome here. We are about to embark upon a journey to a place where insanity will reign no more. It is a place where everything you thought you needed and wanted will fade away. It is in this place that you will find things you did not know that you had or needed. We, my dear friends, are about to enter your soul. For some, the journey will be a quick and enjoyable one. Revelations will come. Understanding will flow. On the 41st day, you will have something to share with friends, family, and loved ones. For others, this journey will be frightening and rocky, and at times you will be convinced it is unnecessary for you to continue. You will be tempted to abort the journey. You will forget to do one assignment or another. You will convince yourself that you are not getting anything out of it. Someone may even steal your book the day before payday when you believe you cannot afford to buy another one. And on that very day, something wonderful will happen to you. You will be convinced that life has really turned in your favor. On that same day, your joy will be ripped from beneath your feet, and you will have forgotten to replace this book. Here again is that motto of support and encouragement for you. Remain open. There is something bigger than you know going on here. So now that we have uncovered the introduction of removing the veil, if you're like me, you probably highlighted some things, and that is perfectly fine. That is the purpose of this book. But now I will give a brief moment to just start centering ourselves so we can work our way into the portion that will now explain the daily process of how this book is supposed to be read and worked through. Okay, now let's begin. The daily process. Your 40-day journey will require a commitment of 30 minutes each day. 20 minutes for the morning exercise and 10 minutes for the evening exercise. Of course, you are free to spend more time than this. However, to spend less time is not advised. If your mornings are anything like mine, I would suggest doing the morning exercise as soon as you wake up before you get busy doing everything else. Once you leave the bedroom, you are operating on a totally different vibration, an external vibration. Once you begin to move in the external vibration, chances are you will find every excuse in the world not to stop and pick up this book. Now that you know that could happen, you are prepared to begin. You will need this book, a pencil or pen, and 2 colored highlighters or colored pencils. Help yourself stay focused and committed by placing these items at the side of your bed before retiring. Upon waking up in the morning, take 5 or 7 deep cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Make the sound ah. Lying still on your back, focus your eyes on one spot on the ceiling. Allow your body to settle down and your breath to regain its normal pattern. When you feel ready, slow rise to a sitting position. Work the muscles of your neck by rotating your head 3 or 4 times to the right and then the left. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. You are now ready to begin. Each of the 40 principles covered is presented with a working definition. This definition is based on the universal spiritual and metaphysical meaning of the word. It is offered so that everyone and anyone using this process will have a common understanding of the perspective being offered. These definitions are in no way offered as an attempt to rewrite the dictionary. Okay? Nor are they presented to challenge your intellect. This book offers you a spiritual process, and the principles being explored and applied here are viewed from that perspective. After reading the working definition of the principle, continue reading the commentary of the principle of the day. Use one colored highlighter or pencil to underline anything you read that rings familiar or true to you. And anything presented that is totally new to you, use another colored highlighter or pencil to identify anything you read to which you feel resistance. Those things that sound totally far-fetched and crazy. After reading the commentary, turn to the page entitled Commentary Journal. This page is offered so that you can document your immediate response in reaction to what you have read. It may also be helpful to write down those things you have highlighted and the impressions or feelings they arouse in you. Following each commentary journal, you will find a morning affirmation. This is an affirmative prayer offered to assist you in integrating the principle into your consciousness. The morning affirmation is a powerful tool that will alert your mind as to what you intend to experience throughout the day. Feel free to read it, silently or aloud, as many times as you like. Sidebar, I read it like 3 times in the morning and twice at night, even though it says morning affirmation. You may also want to highlight those things that make the greatest impression on you. Once you have read the morning affirmation, spend a few moments in silence, allowing what you have read to become integrated into your mind. This is a perfect time to say a silent prayer for yourself or for someone else. The reading exercise combined with the prayer are excellent ways to direct your will and focus your energy. You are now ready to begin your day. Once you get the hang of it, this entire process should take no more than 20 minutes. Whether you choose to carry this book with you or leave it at home, an entry has been included that will help you integrate the day's principle into your activities. The page is entitled, Let Me Remember, contain a series of statements of the ideas contained in the day's commentary that will help you remember the day's principle. If you carry the book with you, you can read them as often as you need them. If you do not carry the book with you, it may be helpful to write these statements down on an index card and stick them in your purse or pocket. They are like a booster shot that will help you practice the principle of the day. Now, the evening process is relatively simple. Before retiring for the evening, reread the commentary. Mentally reviewing your day, remind yourself of the ways in which you were able to apply the principle and the ways in which you were not. Identify any evidence you discovered that the principle worked and the ways in which the principle seemed to not work. You are now ready to complete the evening journal. Once again, the questions and statements in the evening journal are offered as a guide, concepts to help you focus. Feel free to write whatever comes up for you regarding the principle, how it did or did not apply to your experiences of the day, or what you are feeling at the moment. It is all relative to your journey. Through this writing process, the principle takes shape and form and becomes a tangible element you can work with or work through. Once you complete the evening journal, you are finished with the principle. If you feel incomplete or that you need to continue working with a particular principle, go for it. Begin the process with the same principle when you awake the next day. If you feel complete, you are free to begin working with the next commentary. So here's my thing. With the evening principles and identifying evidence that worked or did not work for that day, sometimes if I'm really feeling a calling, I will address if it's something that I feel I've been battling with or facing for months. I've found myself to generally apply this and do a reflection back on when this particular principle was heightened, basically. And I collectively write down whatever it is that I have noticed for that specific principle, whether it's in the last day, in the last week, in the last month, or in the last 3 or 6 months. And that kind of helps shed more light on what it is that you need to focus on and open up about. It's the honesty moment with yourself, I think, basically. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. That's what I do with some of these. That's what I have found myself to doing. Okay, let's continue. Of course, you can ignore this suggested process and choose whatever principle you feel best suits your needs on any particular day. You can also work with any 1 or 2 principles for as long as you feel necessary. Don't be alarmed if you did not seem to get it, or if you cannot stay peaceful, non-resistant, and fearless about exploring a particular principle and applying it to your life experiences. Your mind is being opened to a new perspective that will facilitate growth. Whether or not you are aware of it, feel it, or believe it, the truth of the matter is none of this is new. You already know everything being presented to you. You are actually being guided in remembering what was etched into your soul long ago. There is one precaution I will offer. You can expect your life to change a great deal as you begin to integrate these principles. Unfortunately, the change may not always look or feel very nice. That is part of the process. Learning, understanding, and practicing spiritual disciplines will not immunize you against any of the lessons you must grow through in your life. Doing a new thing, thinking a new way, actively applying this information to your life and experiences is a profound learning process. Embrace it. As you persist through the process, learning to integrate the information, one principle will become reliant on another until they all mesh together into a cohesive, workable foundation of thought. You will remember what your spiritual foundation is and was always meant to be, your foundation. This foundation will give you the strength to work through new experiences and the courage to face the outworking of old ones. When your life and this process are working, it may feel as if nothing is going on. That's good. When your life is working, there will be an absence of drama. In the absence of drama, conflict, and chaos, lasting change is given the opportunity to take place. As always, I encourage you to be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Know that all things are working in your favor. If you take one step forward toward the light of Spirit, Spirit will take 5 steps on your behalf. This book is just incredible, and I'm so excited to keep going with you guys through this. So thank you for listening. And we will meet back here for part 1, phase 1. You guys take care and have a great one. Thank you.